All right, we are live. So I'm here with Cory of Braddock's Tree Service and the Elite Machine Group, and we're just basically going to talk about his businesses, where he's come from, where he's going, the regular stuff we do here on the Blue Crocus experience, and glad to have you guys along for the ride. So if you want to dive right into it, Cory, introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing tree work for 18 years. This will be my 19th year, actually. Started when I was 14 on the west side of Jacksonville. Throughout the years, I've done, pretty much everything in tree work, all the way into owning my own company. It just took a while.
Yep.
Here we are starting an equipment company with a few guys, and life just keeps changing.
Cutting out a little bit there.
Be open to them.
Cutting out a little bit.
There you go. Let me see if I can get.
Yeah, no worries.
A little closer to the Wi-Fi.
Sounds good. I like to say this is the internet's best produced podcast because it's literally just me sitting down with business owners and chatting, so it's no problem at all.
Well, I mean, no better place to do it than I'm here in my backyard in the garden.
Exactly. Your background looks better than mine.
COVID's been it's been one thing, but relaxing, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff. So you cut off around. I think you had started your own equipment company as well.
But about a year ago, we started an equipment company on top of the tree service. So life's definitely been interesting. Following the tree game, going from one step to the other. 18 years doing tree work. There's not too much I haven't seen from the hurricanes and tornadoes and just the general everyday tree work. General maintenance, trimming, removals, and stuff like that. And the interest in equipment just kind of led me to wanting to do more with the leading things in the industry. So I started reaching out to buddies of mine. A mechanic friend of mine, Sean Price, he was working for a dealership doing mechanic work, and started asking him questions how the dealer game kind of worked. And he told me just start calling around asking questions, and that's kind of how it all goes. Just call around asking questions. You don't know what's going to come from it. And I started out thinking I was going to do chainsaws, and instead we're doing articulating loaders and
nice.
Little chippers and things I never even thought I'd be.
Yep.
Put my hands on to the daily basis.
Sure.
Go from a 20-inch chipper down to like a 9-inch chipper, just for a different kind of job out in Maine, talking to a new tree guy out there for his equipment needs.
Yep.
That's been the most interesting part about it. Thought tree work was the same everywhere. It's definitely not.
Gotcha. Well, there's whole there. We're dealing with whole different variety of trees than you got down there, right?
Oh yeah. Some are the same. A lot of subspecies of different breeds and stuff like that. But the oak trees and pine trees pretty much have a variety of them almost everywhere.
Yeah.
We have crazy trees that come from all over the world that hop on banana boats and they drop a few seeds and it just grows year round.
Right.
So we get some crazy swamp trees and crazy vines and
something I've never talked to someone as far south as Florida in this game, but what's the percentage of like palm trees, or I call them palm trees. I'm sure they all have a different specific name, but
palm trees in general. We do have a lot of species of palm trees, but my business in particular, we don't do a lot of palm trees, honestly. Here in Jacksonville, we have a wide variety of them, but they're not as a dominant part of our business as it is in Florida. When I did a lot of work down in Tampa and St. Pete, I would say it's almost 25% of the work is palm trees. Up here, I would say a little less. We do get quite a bit of it though, but compared to storm damaged trees and stuff, because we get a lot of northeastern storms here in Jacksonville.
Sure.
So they spin them up and they put them down on the regular basis.
Yeah.
Uh,
So with palm trees, do they mostly just blow over, or do you have like hanging limbs? Because
palm trees, they rarely blow over in that sense. It's just the general maintenance part. There's a
sure,
lot of debris that can come off a palm tree, a lot of mess. It takes a good bit of time to clean it up,
sure,
and you don't get a lot of money for it. To the different species of palm trees, if they got some big hefty thorns, we're definitely charging more.
right.
You got to take a lot more time so we don't prick ourselves.
Yeah. So you
But
basically are climbing up and like trimming off the dead, the bottom branches and stuff.
yeah, fortunately for us, we have a spider lift that we use
Well,
to
that's
do
good.
the majority of the work.
Yeah. So you're rarely climbing up the trees then, unless it's a really tricky situation.
If the yard permits, we're using the lift.
Yeah.
That's 100% of the time. It's just safer. It's faster. Just overall, we get a better job done. You can be more meticulous with it.
Sure.
But we are still climbing. We you can't get to the center of the trees, on the top of the crown with the lift most of the time. You still have to get up in that very top of the crown and nitpick those few little problems out of there.
You just won back all the other
mainly mistletoe.
yeah. You just won back all the other arborists who were about to jump off when you said that you didn't climb.
I definitely do far less. Fortunately, I got a young climber that's starting with me this next week. I've known for a while, and
Yeah.
we plan on moving into new things. He knows a lot more of the SRT and the DRT stuff than I do. I'm a traditional old school.
Explain to me what that means. I don't know what those terms are.
The SRT and DRT are they're forms of climbing single rope and double rope systems.
Okay.
So one system, of course, you can set a baseline on the tree, an anchor line from the ground through a top crotch and climb up a single line and get to your the areas you're going. And there's another traditional way of setting your line, but it's a double line. You foot lock up there and then you go about your business.
Sure.
There's single line systems from a lot of the guys that have been showing me them, because once again I'm not so versed in those things. It was something that came up when I was more of a, we got to go get this thing done today. We're not learning something new today.
Yeah.
And now that owning the company, we've got more time to learn. So I'm definitely picking up things that these other guys are putting down. But the single line system is definitely I don't know, it's just making it a lot faster.
Nice.
When it comes to just getting out to that one little limb that you need, or just fast lining yourself to the top of the tree.
Yeah.
It's really changing the game on the wear and tear of the body too. So definitely looking forward to getting more into that myself.
That's awesome.
But with lift, we're definitely fortunate there.
Yeah.
It keeps palm trees out of our hair.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's awesome. Well, we got a little sidetracked there because I was exploring some of my curiosities.
Oh, no, man. That's what this is all about, right?
Exactly. Talk to me a bit. You're 14. Did you have family in the business, or what?
No, actually, my uncle had I say pretty good friend. They were pretty good buddies.
Yeah.
We went boarding one day on his boat, just a weekend hanging out. I was fresh to moving back to Jacksonville, and my uncle was like, "Hey, my nephew's been doing some roofing with me. He doesn't like it too much. Maybe he can come do a little bit of tree work with you." Well, the owner of that company, his name's Jock. He told me if I had steady transportation, he'd find something for me to do around the wood yard and stuff like that. And I bought a moped, and he forgot that he even offered me a job when I got there.
Classic.
It was several weeks later, but I was a little persistent. Plus, it was my uncle's friend, so he gave me a job in the wood yard.
Well, you're also, if you're 14 doing roofs, I mean, you've got something going on there.
I did the fast track through high school. Dropped out, got my GED, and was going to a local community college here in town, and was learning how to weld, and I needed just something steady to feed the pocket. And my uncle, he had his own roofing thing, but God, that just wasn't me.
Yeah, I did that for a summer. It's hard work. I enjoyed it, but I don't think I could do it nonstop.
It wasn't me. So, I took a stab at the trees. I mean, I worked couple days a week in the wood yard for quite a few months until someone didn't show up one day, and they kind of stuck me out there to the crew to drag some limbs. Don't get near the chipper. Don't pick up a chainsaw. Just get this to here to there, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
But he was a close friend, no family. I'm the first tree guy of the family.
That's cool.
Had some pole climbers. My brother climbed AT&T. He climbed poles for AT&T, and apparently my grandfather climbed phone poles when he was in his mid-20s too. But
that's cool.
And I didn't find any of that out until after I started climbing trees.
As it goes. Yeah. No, that's cool. The tree business kind of fascinates me. I mean, you obviously enjoy it to be still in it. I would imagine yeah.
I mean, there's not too many jobs you get to go to. I mean, it's the same thing that we're doing, but it's a different problem when we get there.
Yeah.
Some of a lot of it's the same. I don't want to say some of it's the same, but a lot of it's the same. But it still is a little puzzle and it's a problem to solve, and we get to interact with new people and talk to just talking to somebody. You get to hear what they do, their stories, and and if they've had tree work done in the past, sometimes people have never even seen tree work done, and it's a big show. It's like the circus in their yard. So they end up hanging out with you anyways.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So you're 14. You're dragging stuff around for the guys. Yeah. What happened between there and you owning your business?
By the time I was 17, I was not necessarily running a crew, but I was a lead grounds guy. We had a few crews work. It was a larger company, so we're fortunate to have the leading stuff back in 2002, 2003. We actually had cranes and bucket trucks and A300 Bobcats and stuff when they first came out. So we were on the edge of the good stuff in tree work.
Yeah.
But in that sense, we had a lot of young guys that were athletic, and the owner was definitely willing to teach us how to do a lot of this work. Hop up in these trees when someone stepped up or pulled the boots on and showed up. He was willing to say, "Hey, he had it today. Let's see if he has it tomorrow."
Nice.
But by the time I was 17, I was riding around with him with the crane, popping tops of trees.
Nice.
I'd probably cut down thousands of trees before I ever even got to trim one outside of a power pruner.
Okay.
It just was naturally not scared of heights, and it was let's go to town.
Yeah.
But I've been climbing since about 17. I didn't bounce around much, honestly, over the years. Fortunate to be part of a lot of really good companies.
Yep.
My second tree company I ever worked for was actually down in St. Pete, Florida. I went from Jacksonville to St. Pete, which I thought was going to be the same. Get down there, it's a whole nother frame of work. Different trees, things growing even faster.
Yeah.
I ended up working with a small company down there, a man named Philip Stafford, and his company was small. It was nothing like the big one I was part of. So it went into doing, harder work. We still had a Bobcat, but we had a smaller chipper, 20-inch chippers.
Right.
So went into climbing, 40, 30 palms a day, on the spikes and a whole nother frame of work. But subcontracting only lasts so long, You go to a couple of companies and this is a hard game, and it's hard to trust that you actually have a good guy.
Yeah.
Is this guy actually going to show up every day? Is he going to come with girlfriend problems? Is he going to, is he going to be what we needed him to be?
Yeah.
So nobody ever gave that heavy fair shake. So I started after that, and that just always naturally leads to owning your own business. I mean, the more customers you do good business with, they're going to tell people, and it just will grow from there if you just genuinely show up.
Yeah.
Do a good job, So, I mean, long way making a family and doing tree work, you move around.
Yeah.
Luckily, I settled in a big city. Jacksonville is got a lot of things happening here, a lot of work to be had.
Yeah. So how long after that did you start your company?
About 6 years ago,
Okay.
is when I got serious. I mean,
Nice.
as a contract climber, I had the basic workman's comp for myself, and I had uh,
So you
all
were
my.
kind of working on your own as a subcontractor. Got it.
And then when I got a job, I would do it on, whenever and however, with a truck and a trailer, or call a loader truck,
Yep.
and it just goes into, eventually it just goes crazy. I settled into actually working for a company to, further my arborist, actually be an ISA certified arborist.
Yeah.
And a few years ago, Hurricane Matthew kind of took that from me briefly, because we got really busy. Went to work for a company to understudy for arborists, and I was working for them 5 days a week, and then on the weekends I did my subcontracting and my stuff. So it turned out to be 7 days a week I was working.
Yeah.
And Hurricane Matthew happened, and I already had such a broad of people, I've been doing work for years. I got 30 calls in like the first hour of
Wow.
leaving that. Them actually saying, yes, the storm is actually going to come a lot closer than we thought. And I got 30 calls in like the first hour. Like, what are you going to do? I've recently started studying for my arborist again and listening to my audios and stuff. But
is that a pretty tricky, like, is it a pretty in-depth process to get your arborist?
I would say it's not crazy. So any tree guy out there that's thinking about it should.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of other tests and a lot of other things out there that are, a lot harder than what we're stacked up to get this arborist.
Mm-hmm.
But a few years in the business, you read the book, you take the test, and you get a certification, and then you keep up your ICUs, and you go into seminars, and you just keep furthering your education, and they'll never go away.
Nice.
And it's always going to give you a better opportunity.
Nice.
I know there's other tree guys like, I've never lost but maybe a couple of jobs a year because of not being an arborist.
Yeah.
But how many people just didn't call you at all?
Right.
Because they were looking for somebody, because they don't know who they should be looking at, but they know if that certification is enough to say they know something. It's a good place to start,
Gotcha.
But I'm moving on it. You have to. Yep. I mean, education, right?
Yep. No, exactly. So you've been in 6 years or something, and how many guys do you have now?
At one point, I had 7-8 guys.
Nice.
And that's kind of what started me into the equipment thing. I started buying newer, nicer equipment. Another tree service friend of mine, he had this little green Avant loader and kept telling me it was the best thing ever. And I was just like, yeah, this little Tonka toy looking thing.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get I'm gonna get a Bobcat, an A300. That was that's where my head was at. But,
yeah.
We moved into that kind of equipment, and the next thing I know, I only have a few guys working for me. Now we're down to 3 guys. I'm only now recently. Well, just don't need them. Not that I don't need them. I'd love to have them if they were great workers. But the growth of my company has been hindered just by employees and getting someone that's going to show up.
Yeah.
Not that I'm the best place to work for or anywhere is, but there's not that many people just showing up.
Yeah.
They, like I said, girlfriend problems, the alarm clock, those little things.
Yeah.
So it kind of whittled them down, because once I bought those nice machines, when someone said, hey, I can't make it to work, it's like, well, I guess I'm going to do without you today. And then it became, I guess I don't need you today.
Yeah.
And these little specialized machines were the ticket for that for a small company like me. I'm not really aspiring to be a company to have 30 employees.
Sure.
Don't know that it's never, that it's not going to happen, but in the same sense, right now, being happy and providing a happy place to work for my few guys and the families is all we're after.
Yeah.
As it grows, it grows. But with the machines, it changed all that, and that's where my started asking, because it's hard to get tree guys. So I started looking for my second job, because not that I don't enjoy tree work, but there's got to be a second avenue.
Sure.
And equipment started being that, because I started, seeing these machines are changing the way that we all do this job. We didn't have these little articulate loaders. The ones we had, one brand in particular was a Swinger, which was nice, but it was big, and it kind of fell over a lot, so people were scared of it.
That's not good.
It just got tippy on certain angles and stuff, and even our little loaders can be very tippy. If that's why we put wide tires on them.
Yeah.
Now, back then we had tractor tires, and then they were putting car tires on them. And at one point in time, I knew a company that had just BFGs on it.
Nice.
Regular truck tires.
Nice.
But in that same tone, it's a hard go with employees. So changing over things, I've whittled down to just a few guys, and we're slowly bringing in people that want to do the job and do the job well, and grow.
You're under less pressure now to hire. You can kind of pick and choose a little bit more.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's really all the lift and the articulate loaders did for my company. Relieve a little employee stress. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So, I mean, that's a pretty big challenge on the tree company side. Talk a bit about the machinery business.
Well, the machinery business, it's definitely another. It's a whole nother animal in the same sense. I have a lot of friends in the same industry, and then finding out that tree work's not the same everywhere you go.
Sure.
I've been to quite a few places and done work, outside of Florida, but definitely haven't dealt with the things that friends of mine deal with in Tennessee on a daily basis.
Sure.
Right? Not every yard's created equal. But solving those problems with other tree people, that's been the funnest part about the equipment for me personally. That and growing, help growing smaller businesses. Even though I'm not that big, a small piece of information I could give somebody that's just starting out the year in, maybe, that's cool to see if they get a good result. They send me a message saying, "Hey man, that was cool." That's fun.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But the traveling and the time it takes, it takes a lot of time to talk to people. Luckily, I like talking to people.
Yeah.
But it is exhausting. It definitely is. If you're ever gonna try to split yourself, definitely make sure you have the first one where it needs to be.
Yeah.
With the right people in place. I would say I jumped the gun, and we are working through the learning curves, but it definitely still is something I really do love doing and talking to all these folks. So we'll figure it out.
So when you say
trees,
Yeah. When you say traveling, how far are you traveling to visit potential customers?
Oh, well, of course, I've been there all over Florida. But since I've been a part of the equipment, I've been all to Texas, I've been to Louisiana, I've been to Indiana. I got to go to Jambo for the first time. I've missed out on that in many years. We New Hampshire, like I said, and every state in between.
Yeah.
I haven't put my eyeballs on New York until I started doing this equipment thing. Got to go to New York and meet with a few people.
So are you driving or flying most of the time?
Both. We're doing both. I do a lot more driving because we're bringing machines when we come.
Sure.
We had a trip planned for Tennessee, and unfortunately that didn't happen because COVID and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I had 3 machines lined up to get delivered to Tennessee and meet with a couple of tree companies. But flying out is definitely better than driving. But being able to show the machines along the way, it's definitely worth the travel.
Sure, absolutely. And you can show them the benefits and all that when you get there.
That's number one, is having the right environment to show somebody how this machine actually benefits on the job. Um,
Yeah.
come to find that we have a lot of new dealers that are becoming part of our particular band, which is the cast loaders. Now they're moving in on the brand, seeing that there's other ones out there, seeing that we do have one that's slightly durable and it's right on time for what they're after. Especially there's a few dealers that already have orange machines, so it fits their bill,
Nice.
But finding that they've never fed a chipper with an articulating loader, and talking someone through it doesn't quite put it together like actually showing them.
Sure. Sure.
I actually posted a video today of the drone hustler Jeremy. He's running the 23, feeding the chipper with it and stuff.
Yeah.
But conveying how we actually use the machines, that has to be done in person, especially if they've never had one before.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's awesome. So what are your goals for the equipment side of the business?
Well, we're bringing on a couple more brands. We have the Hummer B, which is a larger loader. But the overall plans is really just help people out, in that way. Inform them, give them a couple pieces of equipment if lucky enough, hook them up with the right financial advisors. There's a lot of companies out there that call you every day saying, hey, we can get you this and get you that. That was kind of important to me, was to narrow down some of that too, get the right companies to present to the customer. Because that wasn't done for me.
Sure.
I struggled to even get any kind of loan for my company starting out. Had to go to the bank and lie to them about buying a truck I wasn't buying, and buying a dump trailer and a few chainsaws. They wouldn't give me a loan for a dump trailer, because then what are you going to do that for? I own a tree service.
Yeah.
It's 2 years old. You won't give me a loan for a $7,000 dump trailer.
Yeah.
I leave one branch, go to the next branch, and tell them I'm buying an older truck, and they give me 10 grand same day. It's like, that's unbelievable.
Crazy. Yeah.
But the real plan with the equipment company is just provide good service and help some people out along the way. We're on the slow grow plan on everything. Nice. We want it to go as fast as possible, but we don't expect it to. We expect things to cruise. The equipment company really consists of just me and Sean Price. He's the mechanic side, and I'm the tree guy.
Yep. How much time are you splitting your time between the tree business and the equipment side?
That's where, I get that question from buddies and people. I just work, man. I don't split time. I answer my phone.
Yeah. What percentage of time do you think would go to one versus the other?
I really couldn't put a number on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just answer my phone.
Yeah.
When it comes to the tree stuff, that is not on my back burner, but I have a different system to relate to those people. But as far as equipment, I'm available 24/7. Facebook is what it is. I am very social, so people talk to me 100% all the time. So I can't say what time, any time in particular. If anything, my wife would say I spend too much time working. So.
Yeah, well, you're definitely a hustler.
Well, I can't do nothing. You got to do something.
Yeah, exactly. No, so what are you using to kind of get the word out to people about the business that you're doing? Is it mostly on Facebook for the equipment?
The equipment is mainly social media. I have done a little bit of mailers and stuff like that to my direct market in town, but I've primarily done tree work here just in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
So I have a pretty good name here and know a lot of tree guys. So I was able to just reach out to those folks personally. So I didn't ever have to blow it up here in town. Everybody kind of knew who I was. I was able to introduce them real quick to what I had.
Yeah.
As far as the world, Facebook is the reach. We talk to everyone.
Nice.
As far as the tree companies, direct mailers. I like to stay in just a few neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Really like traveling all over town.
Sure. So rather than doing, blanketing the whole city with ads or whatever, you can kind of control where the mailers go.
A little bit, you do get calls from all over town just the same, and we still provide the same service, as we can to those customers.
Yep.
But Jacksonville itself is the biggest city land-wise in the United States.
Oh, really?
It takes me, I drove to Orange Park today, and from my side of town, it's a 45-minute drive.
Wow.
Just to there. So it's guaranteed an hour 20 there and back.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to Orange Park, you'd know that the traffic is not going to allow that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here in Jacksonville, it's definitely to, cater to the masses, but definitely grid yourself where you need to be. Nobody needs to be driving, 50 minutes to their job on a daily basis.
Right. Right. No, that makes sense. That's awesome. And do you guys have any sort of a website that people can call into or anything like that? I think I lost you there.
Running our Facebook, those general. Yeah, let me get back. I think I got too far away. Are we good?
You're pacing now.
Yeah, I'm a walking talker, and I got to walk through this garden.
I love it. No, I missed what you said right after I asked the question.
Where were we?
I asked what sort of a web presence you had for the tree company.
Oh yeah. So the tree company is our website.
Yep.
Google, of course. Reviews are very important.
Yep.
You have to at least get a good 20, 30 reviews up if
Yep.
you can. That I'm not as persistent on. I should be, because every customer should, participate in helping your business by a little review. That's always helpful. That's the best thing for word of mouth. But the general is just being there on the block, being available. When the customer calls, I can leave the job briefly, or I'll be on the job when the neighbor needs us. Doesn't stop the guys from working. Having that presence on the job is really what's helped me out over the years. I'm on every job.
Nice.
If you have a salesman should be almost on every job. That is what's going to cater to the neighbors. But we just keep it simple on that.
No, that's awesome.
That way we can stay close to home. We're not traveling all over Jacksonville.
Sure. Yeah, because at that point you're just going to be dripping money everywhere.
Yeah, it's just not worth the oil. Spending on fuel.
Yeah,
it's just not
exactly. That's awesome. So if customers were to choose, this is a question I like asking people, like if customers were to choose between your company and 3 other competitors in the local area, what would make you stand out?
Get a good signal here, bud?
Oh, I can hear you. Did you miss my question?
No, I think I got most of your question there. What would I say that would stand me out over the other competition if I'm standing there with the customer? Well, when people tell me, we are going to get other bids, I encourage that.
Yeah.
I feel that you should encourage that. It keeps everybody honest. But what I tell the customer is, when you're hiring us, you're hiring a professional tree service. We're not the run-of-the-mill truck and trailer, get it done company.
Yeah.
We're here for start to finish. And normally, when you give somebody the truth, they'll hire you.
Yeah.
You get the cheapskate that's going to hire anybody, but just be honest, and that's what's always been my stick when I'm put up against my competitors.
Sure.
Because that's all that matters, anyways, is what I'm doing. What they're doing is their business.
Yeah. No, I like that. And if they're talking to you too, they can see you're a pretty upstanding guy. You're not gonna try and pull a fast one on them.
Yeah, and being informative to who you are, and open. Come there with all your information. That cuts all the silly questions out. But when it comes down to what am I going to say to set me off against the rest, that's just a piss and match nobody needs to have.
Sure. Yeah. No, that I like that answer. It's always interesting to see how different people answer, and I like that one. You're confident in where you stand, and if they want you, they get you, and if they don't, they can get someone else.
Yeah, I mean, you're not meant to work for everybody, and not everybody's meant to work for you.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
We're all different for a reason.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's awesome. And I guess the other scripted question I have, I usually like to let it kind of roll, but just before I lose you here, um,
Yeah, definitely the
what?
sun's going down on us.
Yeah. What would you say as kind of a tip for someone if they were starting out in either business? Kind of the biggest thing that you've learned.
I would say in any business is just show up. That's the best advice I was given, was show up and just be honest. If there's a problem, tell them. Even if you make a fool of yourself, you're only going to learn them for the next job.
Yeah.
But that's what I tell anybody that's starting, whether any business, doesn't matter what business you're starting. If you're scooping dog shit, it don't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Just show up. Be willing to wake up in the morning and go to work. I can tell you real quick, I got that from I was just watching something on TV one day, and I don't really know exactly what was said, but I was sitting on my couch, and it was kind of in the ploy of, if you're, most business owners, they go to work, but they don't go to work. If you own your own business and you get a chance to sit on the couch, you are. And that's exactly what I was doing. I was like, well, damn, I really don't have any estimates. I don't have a job today. I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So I went out and just walked around in this yard. And this yard used to be filled with, there was like 5 tree trucks back here, and my neighbors hated me, but they didn't complain too much. A few stumps here and there got them out of my hair, but
Yeah.
all this was a tree company back here, and I used to just walk back and forth because I was on the job. I needed to be outside. I needed to be somewhere else. I didn't have an office to go to.
Yeah.
My yard was my office. I didn't, go to work, be present, get up and go. Don't sit there and let something else preoccupy your mind. It will take it from you.
I like that. If you're not going forward, you're going backwards, right?
Even worse, you're sitting still.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's awesome. Well, I don't know if you have any other closing thoughts. I do appreciate the time that you've given me.
No, man, I appreciate this. This has been opening. I definitely like it. Like
Awesome.
talking to people about new experiences. That's for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. No, and I'll let you know when this is up, and you can kind of post it around wherever you want to.
Oh, well, we're definitely going to share it.
I love it.
That's what it's all about, and getting the information. That's why we did this, right?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will get a little piece of something,
Exactly.
or they'll laugh at us, one or the other.
Yeah. Well, and selfishly, for me, selfishly, it's to kind of learn a little bit more about your industry, and I asked the questions there at the beginning to kind of quell my curiosity and answer some questions that I had. So that's.
Oh, yeah. You got to take on something.
Yep.
And when I started getting into the equipment thing, I called other equipment companies that I bought equipment from that wasn't in my direct market, just to get what they had to say.
Exactly.
Most of them told me not to do it. That kind of sounds like a competitor, but if it wasn't something to do, they wouldn't have been doing it.
Right.
So those questions need to be asked. If you're interested, you got to ask them, or you're not going to get the good or bad answer.
Exactly.
You're just not going to get anything.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Exactly. Good stuff. Well, if you don't have anything else, I can't think of anything specific to ask you.
Not today. Not today.
I love it.
I think we're definitely going to get you an arborist to talk to. That's for sure. Got to get somebody out there. I know a few that would love to have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Chris Francis out in Alabama. He's a pretty good man to talk to about some tree work. That's for sure.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Well, I do appreciate your time. What I'll do is I'll wrap up the recording, and then we can just chat briefly off recording. But I appreciate your time and look forward to chatting more.
Yeah, man. Anytime.
Cheers.
Sure.